Yo, what is going on, everybody? Caveman Jack back for another album reaction / review, and we are back live from the studio. Yo, hopefully you guys are having an awesome week. Now we are finally up to the next Radiohead album. I sat with In Rainbows for a fair amount of time. I got to listen to both the main album and then I checked out disc 2. Both phenomenal projects and really coincide with each other in a really nice way. So many fantastic sounds. In Rainbows is such an intimate project and it truly stands out in a lot of ways. I understand why a lot of people call it their favorite Radiohead album. It's just beautiful. It's truly a beautiful era. I was glad to kind of take it all in, and we're up to The King of Limbs. Now, this is an album that I've heard is quite divisive. It's probably one of the lesser well-received Radiohead albums. Some people over time, it's really stuck with them. So it seemingly appears to be a project that will take some time to get into, similar to perhaps Kid A, Amnesiac. I've heard this one's quite percussive, so a lot of loud percussion-based instrumentation. I'm very intrigued. I'm always going to go into these albums with an open mind no matter what, which is really important, I think. I'm probably just going to listen to the main album today. Then we can go back and we can listen to the In the Basement sessions another time. And hopefully by then I've worked out a little bit of a better method to have the video itself as well as my reaction on the screen. It's a little bit different to what I usually do. I know a lot of reactors do it, but I'm still working out how to do that in an efficient manner for this channel. So that's probably how we'll return to The King of Limbs later down the track. You guys have seen along the way how enwrapped and just how much I've fallen in love with this band's sound. It's just came at a perfect time in my life, and I'm so grateful that I've been able to get on this journey now, and you guys have been able to kind of be a part of that. It's been really, really special. This is The King of Limbs by Radiohead. Okay. Got some of that piano. Oh, a bit weird. Yeah, it's a bit weird. Time signature's kind of hard to read. It's very unorthodox sounding at the moment. The soft bass guitar, really subtle. Open your mouth wide. Set it up. His voice is so soothing as opposed to this kind of chaotic sounding instrumentation. It's a really nice contrast. They're very different. These harmonies are kind of linking them a bit better now. I'm really loving this. These sounds, they're quite jarring, but they sound so warm, really. Like they're just, the snare sounds good. Strings. I'm moving out of I really loved Bloom. That was a really interesting track. And I think we have heard jarring pieces from this band, Amnesiac especially. This didn't feel as unsettling. I felt like Amnesiac was quite jarring, but felt very dark and unsettling. That one felt a bit jarring, but it kind of felt quite warm, and it felt still very cohesive, very much calculated. I couldn't really understand what he was talking about. At times it was like, why does it still hurt? Is it perhaps he thinks he's over someone, or he's over a breakup, or gotten through something, a rough patch, and he still is like, well, why am I still hurting? Why does it still hurt when I think about it? I thought I was blooming or getting through this. I'm not quite sure. He started talking about turtle eye and jellyfish flying by. So that then started losing me in terms of contextually what the song was about. But really rich in sound, and it's very just close your eyes, and man, it was beautiful. I felt quite peaceful listening to that song, and it was really lovely. Jazzy at times. It's so damn good, man. Bass guitar. It's the bass guitar. It sounds bloody warm. The acoustic guitar over as well. Really effective use of layering in this section here. Oh, and we got this in the back. Bit of kind of eeriness here, bit of distortion. Good there. I slowly stripped all the sounds away there. Morning, Mr. Magpie. Again, I really enjoyed that song. I can't lie. It started off quite like Bloom in terms of gave us a drum beat or a sound that was quite loopy, very repetitive in nature, but it still felt so alive. That's something I want to make note of is a bunch of these sounds that we've heard in the last two songs. There's been like very loopy in terms of, it's repetitive, but it feels alive. It doesn't feel like a loop. It feels like someone's just continuously playing it. And it's got this real sense of, just feeling alive, which makes the song feel a little bit more kind of active. And you never really know where Radiohead will go next on all their albums, to be fair. But I think on these last two songs, The King of Limbs so far has just been really... I would say calculated in the way that it feels so effective in when they're adding instrumentation or adding another layer. The ending there was very well done in terms of you could see very slowly that they were taking away just small aspects of the instrumentation to a point that it was just this echoey vocal that Tom was doing. And I thought that was just... You can hear it slowly each line. The song detracts another piece of instrumentation. It was really well done. It was very noticeable, I think, but very well done. Another really interesting track. I'm liking it so far. It is quite percussive. The drums are a highlight so far on these 2 tracks. I don't know what Morning Mr. Magpie was about, but from an instrumentation point of view, I really loved it. I like that. Open up the hi-hat. That sounds reversed, whatever that sound is there. I like this part of his vocal take a bit more than what we heard earlier on this track. Jeez, there is so many sounds. Yeah, that reverse thing again. You can see how it sounds like it's sucking into itself. Again, such warm instrumentation on that track. Radiohead, it's not surprised that they're going to provide warm instrumentation, but on an album so far like this, where it's a lot more percussive in sound, a lot of very unique layering, a lot of just so many sounds. That song had so many different tracks. I can't imagine what the track setup looks like when they were mixing it, but truly, really a marvel. I didn't really enjoy Tom's vocal take in the earlier parts of the song. I liked the little bridge there where he kind of sung out some of the words a bit longer. I was never taken out of the song completely because the instrumentation had a hold on me. I think I've been enjoying this a little bit more than my first listen of Amnesiac. I say Amnesiac because Amnesiac was quite jarring. I feel like this album's been a little bit experimental. It feels like a shift from what you hear on In Rainbows, that's for sure. Them diving into a new sound again, which is, for me, it's very refreshing. I love that. I love the fact that this band has such empowered ability to do that, and they appear to really thrive in that knowledge that they can just jump into a new sound and go, why not? Let's give this a go. Yeah, 3 tracks in, and we've definitely taken some really great moments from each of these songs. Yeah, very much each song feels like it starts with this kind of high-tempo drum beat. We're getting a lot of hi-hat action, a lot of cymbal action. Oh yeah, this is different, isn't it? Yeah, this is different. Oh, I like that, man. Damn. Bass guitar coming in, layering over that. Oh. Yeah, this is a bit Amnesiac-like. Different levels here, like very interesting. Oh, that is great, man. Very experimental, it's very unique. It's got a bit of Amnesiac, that wow, gives me that Amnesiac Kid A feeling. Tree Fingers. I'd be very interested to see how they do play this album live. The In the Basement sessions will be very interesting. I guitar is good. I don't know if it's a synth, I can't tell if it's a bass. Bit of mixomatosis toughness to that synth line there. That might be my favourite song I've heard on this album so far. That was a little bit more of an instrumental kind of show off. It was like they were just showing off, hey, that song right there is just a testament to Radiohead's ability to flip the script on the listener very quickly within an album. You don't really know where you're going to head to next, and I think that song was fantastic in the way that there was darker sides to it, lighter sounds to it, but overall every sound sounded quite warm. Lotus Flower. It's getting louder. Yeah, really great use of the way the track's been set from ear to ear as well.
I will shake myself into your pocket, invisible. Do what you want. Do what you want.
Oh, he's got that real Radiohead flow right now.
I was thinking I would disappear. I would slip into the groove and cut me off. And cut me off. There's an empty space inside my heart where the weeds take root, and I set you free. I set you free. There's an empty space inside my heart where the weeds take root, so now I set you free.
Just got that constant stank face right now with this chorus. Can't help it. Can't help it. Nice shift. That synth's good.
As Lotus flowers, 'cause all is the moon upon a stay, just to see what is, just to see what is. I can't keep your head just to
Oh my god, this is a track.
listen to your
Oh, let's go. I freaking love this band, man. I freaking love this band.
We were shaking in the quiet as mine, and while the cat is away, do what we want.
I love it.
What we want.
Ah,
There's an empty space inside my heart where the
Love
weeds
it.
take root, so now I set you free.
great use of instrumentation here.
'Cause
Ah, I love that synth line. Really highlighting this song.
just to see what is, just to see what is. Slowly we unfold, as Lotus flowers, 'cause all is the moon upon a stay, a dancer around the pit.
That's the one. That's the circle. Circle that one. Lotus Flower is the track. From what I've heard so far, I felt like that song perfectly encapsulates the meaning behind the King of Limbs. It felt like we got a little bit of real kind of classic Radiohead on that song. But in saying that, we also got the effective use of the percussive instruments, the drums, that they were still the highlight. That's been such a strong point of this album so far. So it was like classic Radiohead combining with this new sound that we're getting on this project. I loved it. The patience on his delivery was great. I liked how there was subtle effects that were used on his voice at times, a little bit of delay here and there. I liked how the synth came in. When the synth came in, I was like, yep, you've hooked me, man. You've hooked me. Really fantastic track, Lotus Flower. I didn't really capture the meaning behind the song, but some of the lines are awesome. Like, I want to get the moon on the stick. The darkness is beneath. You can't kick the habits. All these different thematic lines that Radiohead sprinkle throughout their songs. I love it. I love diving back and trying to read into what the song means to me. So I'll certainly go back to this album and that song in particular. That is my favorite so far, by far. And I'm saying that in respect to the other songs as well. I've really enjoyed them as well. But that Lotus Flower just really stood out to me. Is that some piano we got there? Oh, I love it. Oh, don't do this to me, Radiohead. Don't do this to me. Don't do this to me, man. Just that really effective electronic sounding kick drum.
Jump off the edge into a clear lake. No one around.
Oh, that is warm, man. Almost like a trumpet sounding synth line.
Jump off the edge.
Oh my God. That's classic. Oh. I really didn't think we would get a song like this on this album. Codex. As soon as I heard that piano, you guys already know. I was just like, yeah, all right. With this album, we've very much heard percussion, a little bit of trippiness, but just hearing that piano again, that's a huge part of the Radiohead that I've fallen in love with, is that real intimate sound. And I felt like that song there really captured what a lot of us and what I myself also really love about this band is just those really intimate songs that can really take you to another place emotionally, spiritually, however you may see it. It truly does transcend where you're currently sitting and you just are flying, man. They take you to another world. So that was a beautiful piece. I've said it many times on this Radiohead discovery through their albums, but Tom's voice and his ability to just capture so much emotion and so much weight in some of these line delivery is will never not be said enough. I know we all say it, but it always deserves to be recognized. The full band's ability to just be so in sync with each other and create these sounds, it's just something to marvel at. I've liked this album. I've really enjoyed this album, to be honest. I think I've enjoyed it a lot more on a first listen than Amnesiac in a lot of ways. Both very different projects, I understand, but probably two of the most divisive albums in their discography from what I've seen. Sounds like the first line from Nude. acoustics. Damn.
Gather up the last and soul. Gather up, prepare it for.
Just beautiful layering of multiple guitar tracks here.
What seems impossible.
I truly wasn't expecting this much of an intimate shift on the later end of this album, I can't lie. Track, man, again, track. From a concept point of view, I think he was talking about finding perhaps a new love in his life, and he's got to give up the ghost of his old flame or old hurt, or who he used to be perhaps, and go into this with like as the lover or new lover is holding her arms out, or his or her arms out, falling into that. And he's just like basically pleading, don't hurt me, don't haunt me, don't stay with me like this past ghost. Just a really haunting song, but also really like, you know, vulnerable. It's very vulnerable. You know, when someone goes into a new relationship or a new space after, you know, some past hurt, it can be really difficult and challenging. So just the vulnerability on those lines, don't hurt me, don't haunt me, was so like evident, and you could feel that emotion. Just a really fantastic way of capturing that. I think Give Up the Ghost is essentially giving up and letting go of that past hurt to move forward. It's very stripped back in sound. I think in the early parts of the song, you may be wanting a little bit more. I think I was going, is there going to be a little bit more depth here? And then when the second half of the song came in, it was a little bit more fuller. The sounds got a little bit fuller. The harmonies, the layering, everything was a bit more fuller. And I think I was like, yeah, I really like this part of the song. And I think without that intro and that slow build into that, it wouldn't have had as much weight, the second half of the song. Final track on the album. Here we go. The drum beats come back in after being absent for a couple of tracks.
It's like I've fallen out of every dream.
It's got a bit of Tame Impala, you know? Just the vocal sounds a bit Kevin Parker-like.
It's like I've fallen out of every dream. I'm in my mind. And as that woman blows her cover in the eye,
I like how it feels like that hi-hat just getting reached at. It's like
I felt
beautiful, man. That's beautiful. Guitar, come on, man. Come on.
lost your number. If this is
lot of fun with this album. Separator, what started as, again, first half, I was a little bit unsure. I was like, this is nice. But then the second half it set up the second half. And the second half, almost like it stopped for a second and then all the instrumentation flooded back in. Yeah, just really captured all these different pockets of sounds. I'm glad that the percussion that has been driving most of this album returned on the last song, just to kind of be a bit of a swan song for this project, because I do really think it was the highlight in a lot of ways. It was really celebrated and really used well, really effectively. I'm a bit biased with Radiohead nowadays. Like I genuinely think it's going to be pretty hard for me to find a bad song by Radiohead. I'm inspired by them. I truly am inspired by them. Some of the work that I've listened through has just been absolutely awe-inspiring, but just, yeah, has given me real aspirations as well. Really, really drives me, some of this music. It's beautiful. So Separated there, fantastic way to end the album. I love how this album, it's quite short. It goes for 38 minutes. It's only got 8 songs. And I think it's beautiful. I really think it's just the kind of project I can put on and I can really fall into it and find a lot of peace in. It's very rewarding and just so peaceful. I felt at such peace throughout each of these tracks. The early ones that had a little bit more percussion within them, even so, they're the same thing. I think it just, because everything just feels so warm and rich and live. Everything feels alive, and I think that adds to the element of just feeling a little less monotonous. It doesn't feel monotonous. Radiohead rarely feel like they're going through the motions. Let me know in the comments below, what do you think of this album? What's your favorite track off this album? And another question I have is, do you think Radiohead will make another album? Do you think they will return? I hope they do some more shows. I do hope they get back together and they start performing again. I got on the train late, but man, what an honor it would be to see them live one day. It just especially after this whole journey, it's crazy to think that we're up to the final main Radiohead album, which, A Moonshaped Pool is a project that I had circled from the start. I had really, really been excited by it. A lot of the comments you guys have left throughout this last year has just suggested that this is a beautiful project. But it will be a very special moment hearing the last mainline Radiohead album for sure. What an awesome ride it's been. I'm looking forward to it. Anyway, guys, hope you have a fantastic week. Thank you once again for checking out one of these album reactions. If this is your first time checking out one of my Radiohead videos, I've listened from Pablo Honey all the way now to the King of Limbs. If you want to start from where I started, I jumped in at Kid A and then went back to Pablo Honey. So if you want to go through that way, that's probably a little bit better. Up to you. My name is Caveman Jack. That was the King of Limbs by, come on, one of the best bands ever, Radiohead. Take care, guys, and I will see y'all in the next video. Cheers.
Slow